Hi everyone, in this new video in our Diecast channel I'm going to show you this 1966 Fairlane 302 V8. It's made by GMP in 1:18 scale, but before we unbox it, please don't forget to subscribe my channel, to click the bell for news, and to give me your like. So let's go on and unbox it. So once we've unboxed the car, we can take a better look at it. Well, I really like GMP for its materials, for its quality. Very heavy model cars, and very interesting, very well made, and very rich in details, so they are worth every single cent that's paid for. Let's take a better look at it. The front of the car, we can see that has a different grille from that 1967 I've shown before. It's got those two fake air intakes. It's got a 302 Ford, which is a very good small block engine. And as we pop the hood open, we can see that this engine is awesome. It's an engine with an extra preparation, as we can see by the different air filter and the other components we see in there. We can see all wires and cables and hoses, shock turrets and panographic hinges, hood itself, the engine bay, which is very well taken care of. It really looks like we're looking at a real car instead of looking at a model car. The front panel, the grille itself, which is not a grille, but the mesh is so well reproduced that it really simulates a real grille. The vertical headlights, just like in a Ford Galaxy. This car really reminds the '66 Galaxy, but just like a shrunk Galaxy actually. The 302 air intakes, the fake air intakes actually, the metallic antenna, and all the trim around the windows and the windshield wipers, which look fantastic. I really like those wheels and tires with the disc brake and the caliper, as we can see. So the car is really rich in details. We look at the interior, we can see that no detail was really missed. The door lock is right here, the seats which fold forward, the seat belts, the carpet inside, the headliner, sun visors, the mirror, the dashboard, and this very nice detail, which is this crank and with which we can roll the windows up and down like this. So when I crank it this way, windows roll down, they crank in the other way, they roll up. So this is a real nice detail we do not see in the other model cars, so that's why I like GMP so much. It really has a lot of realism. Rear wheel and tire, disc brakes and four-wheel disc brakes, trim around the windows, which are very well taken care of, as well as the glass itself. The tail lights, which sort of remind of the '66 Ford Galaxy. We open the trunk, we can see there's actually a fabric mat that's made of nylon. The battery, which is in a compartment, we can see the cables. The hinges, which are very realistic, as well as the trunk lid and the lock. The trim with the Fairlane GT logo right here in a dual exhaust, and the bumper, which is very realistic as well. You can see all bolts and rivets with very nice realism. The tail lights that remind the ones in the Ford Galaxy, especially the '65 and '66. And driver's door, the window that rolls up and down as well. We can see the door panels, the inside panels, steering wheel, a 3-spoke sport steering wheel, 4-on-the-floor stick shift. The dashboard that really reminds the one on the Ford Galaxy. The mirror in the right proportion. Doors open and close correctly. So this is a very nice car. And when we look at the bottom of the car, we can see that everything was reproduced with very carefully. We can see that those springs are actually with metal leaves, so we have metal foils here, and they're not made of plastic. We have all fixtures. We have all bolts reproduced. We have the drive shaft that's movable. So the suspension is functional, the drive shaft is functional, the front suspension is functional, and it's got coach springs as well. The brake discs and calipers, engine and tranny, that's a 302 engine, so it's supposed to be blue, just like this one. The oil filter, well, as we can see right here, the brake lines, and all components are supposed to be in a chassis, as well as the gas tank and the mufflers, which were reproduced in the correct colors with all correct details. So this is a very nice car to have in a Ford Diecast muscle car collection. I really appreciate this model a lot. Now, comparing the 66 with the 67, I've shown a 66 before. It was a model just like this one. It was not this one, but one that's identical to it. As we can see that the front grills are different from one model to the other ones. We can see there's a different mesh. 67 mesh is a little bit thicker than the 66. The trim that goes all the way from right to left is similar in both models, but with the different logo here in the center. And the 66 is sort of a cross-shaped trim, and the mesh is a little bit finer, and the headlights are quite different in this frame here. The headlights frame is quite different from one to the other one. As we can see that the 67 doesn't have this internal trim just like we find in 66. So just closing up a little bit, we can see the 66 and the 67, which is different. I'm not going to talk about the Ford logo. I'm not going to talk about the hoods because this is a custom car, so I shouldn't really take this into account. But just some details that are different from one model to the other one. The mirrors are different, but this difference could be due to the customization of a 66 model. Now let's take a look at the rears. As we can see, 67 has got a different tail light than the 66. 66 got a reverse light in vertical, and 67 in the middle, horizontal position. The trim is also different in position and pattern. This one has got the Ford here, this one has got no Ford written here, but the Fairlane GT right here, and the lock right here, in which the trim is interrupted for it. This one and trim is not interrupted, and the bumpers are quite similar, so I would risk to say they're exactly the same, and the trunk lids are basically the same. So if we close a little bit, 67 rear and a 66. They're basically the same cars, just have some very tiny differences that we can just notice if we really observe things. Of course, the cushions inside, the upholstery, dashboard, steering wheel, some materials inside the car, some different colors, some very small details that we can notice that we are talking about different years, different cars, but they are basically the same from 66 to 67. One more thing I really like about those cars is suspension is a little bit lowered, but since it's functional, as we lift the car up, just like lifting with a jack, we can see that the suspension moves actually, so the wind wheels tend to go a little bit down just like in a real car. So this is a detail I really like a lot. So I'd like to thank you for all views, for all likes and comments. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel, to leave your likes, to share this video, and to activate the bell for news. That's it, and thank you. I'll see you in the next video.